Welcome back to The Explainer. We've been getting a ton of requests asking us, could you please make an explainer breaking down adjective word order when you're using more than one in a sentence? And it's funny, if you've ever tried to explain how this actually works to someone else, you probably hit a wall and found yourself totally at a loss for words. It's this wild, fascinating quirk of the language. Okay, let's dive into this, because today we are unpacking a totally hidden framework that dictates how we speak and write every single day. Think about it for a second. Why do we say a big red balloon? Like, you've probably heard or said that exact phrase 1,000 times, right? You don't sit there agonizing over the grammar, it just naturally rolls right off the tongue. But there is actually a very strict underlying habit that native and fluent English speakers have developed without ever consciously realizing it. Let's do a quick experiment. Say a big red balloon in your head. Totally normal, right? Okay, now try saying the second one. A red big balloon. Sound it out. It sounds completely bizarre, doesn't it? Like, literally, it just feels so inherently wrong. But there's no glaring grammatical error staring you in the face there. It's literally just two adjectives describing a noun. So why does red big balloon set off major alarm bells in our brains? Well, it all comes down to a deeply ingrained subconscious rule. Here is our structured, logical path to demystifying this secret formula. We'll start with the subconscious grammar rule, then we'll unlock the OS comp formula, explore the rule of three, debate whether to comma or not, and finally tackle some tricky exceptions. Section 1. The subconscious grammar rule, a hidden framework. This rule is so deeply embedded in English that a lot of native speakers will flat out refuse to believe it even exists until you show them a sentence where it's broken. But here is the golden rule of stacking adjectives. They have to follow a very specific, logical path. You always start with the most subjective thing, like your personal opinions about the object, and you move steadily closer to the noun, ending with the most objective, undeniable facts about what it physically is. So an opinion like beautiful is always going to come before a cold hard fact like wooden. You'd never say a wooden beautiful table. It just doesn't flow at all. Section 2, the OSASCOMP formula, the secret sequence. Now, what's really interesting here is there's actually a name for this sequence. It's an acronym that honestly sounds like a password to some secret club, OSAS comp. Let's walk through this blueprint. Step 1 is opinion, words like pretty or horrible. Number 2 is size, like huge or tiny. 3 is age, old or new. 4 is shape, like round or square. 5 is color, black, red, whatever. 6 is origin, detailing where it's from, like French or Chinese. 7 is material, what it's made of, like silk or wooden. And finally, number 8, parked right next to the noun itself, is purpose, what the object is used for, like a writing desk or running shoes. So if you have a dress that happens to be silk, new, and red, OSAS comp tells you exactly what to do. Opinion isn't there. Size isn't there. Grab age, new. Grab color, red. Grab material, silk. Boom. It's a new red silk dress. Take a look at origin adjectives, like British, Italian, or Japanese. They slot in super late in the game, right at spot number 6. So they come after color, but before material. Why? Well, because where something comes from is an objective fact, so it gets pushed way up close to the noun itself. It feels totally natural there because it's practically part of the object's core identity. Okay, to prove this formula actually works, check out this extreme example from the British Council. Picture an auctioneer presenting an item. They might say, "We have a magnificent, century-old, exquisitely shaped, vibrant blue Turkish porcelain vase." Now, supposedly, it actually took them 17 takes to record that smoothly. But look at how beautifully it cascades right down our OSS comp ladder. Opinion, age, shape, color, origin, material. It's a ridiculously long sentence, sure, but if you mess up that specific order, it turns into total gibberish. Section 3, the rule of 3. Keep it simple. Let's all take a massive collective sigh of relief because unless you're literally running an auction house, nobody talks like that in everyday life. In the real world, the magic number is 3. Technically, yes, you could string together 8 adjectives modifying a single noun, but in standard effective communication, it is incredibly rare and honestly a really bad idea to use more than 2 or 3. Adding any more than that just makes a sentence feel cluttered and totally exhausting to read. OSAS comp is there as a guide. It's not a challenge to cram every single category into one sentence. Let's check out some concise, realistic examples of cumulative adjectives in action. a smart Muslim woman, a modern Japanese electric car, a big square blue box. See how effortlessly those roll off the tongue? They give you precise details without completely overwhelming you. Whether you're doing technical writing or just sending a text, the goal is always to be precise but concise. These hit the absolute sweet spot while perfectly following our secret formula. Section 4. To, comma, or not. The great debate. So, let's tackle a massive grammar headache. When you have multiple adjectives stocked up like this, when do you actually need to use commas? This brings us to the crucial difference between cumulative and coordinate adjectives. Cumulative adjectives, like smart Muslim, follow that OSAS comp order. They come from totally different categories, right? Like opinion and origin. Since they build on each other step by step to define the noun, no commas are needed. But coordinate adjectives, like heavy and bulky, those belong to the exact same category. They have equal value modifying the noun, so you absolutely must separate them with a comma. If you're ever second-guessing yourself, there's this brilliant little trick you can use called the and test. Look at the phrase heavy, bulky box. If you can drop the word and right where the comma is, and the sentence still sounds perfectly fine, like heavy and bulky box, then boom, you are dealing with coordinate adjectives and you need that comma. You could also try swapping them around. Bulky, heavy box works perfectly too. But you could never do that with smart Muslim woman. You can't say Muslim smart woman or smart and Muslim woman. That's how you know those ones are cumulative. Let's put this into practice with a classic cliche. It was a dark, stormy night. Thinking about that and test we just went over, what do you think? Does this phrase need a comma between dark and stormy? Or no comma? Try sneaking the word and in there, or swap the words around in your head. All right, if you said it needs a comma, you absolutely nailed it. Dark and stormy both describe the night in the exact same way. They pull equal weight. You can easily say, it was a dark and stormy night. Or, it was a stormy, dark night. Because they pass the test, they are coordinate adjectives, and they for sure need that comma to separate them. Section 5. Tricky exceptions. Breaking the mold. Because this is English, there are obviously going to be a few curveballs where the whole formula just breaks down. Take the phrase American green card. Based on our OSAS COMP formula, color is supposed to come before origin, so technically it should be green American card. But come on, that sounds completely ridiculous. So the crucial point is this: when an adjective like green actually fuses with the noun to form a compound noun, since a green card is a specific legal document, the normal rules go right out the window. Green card functions as one single unit, so the origin adjective, American, has to sit in front of the whole shebang. And here's another awesome example of that exception in action. Young giant squid. Normally, size comes way before age. But just like with the green card, giant squid is the actual literal name of the animal. Because giant is permanently locked in as part of the noun phrase, the age adjective young sneaks right past it to the front. You're not talking about a squid that happens to be giant and young, you're talking about a young version of a giant squid. To wrap all of this up, let's keep in mind this core takeaway from the British Council. Keeping your adjectives in order makes your English clear and effective. The OSAS COPM formula? It is a total secret weapon for your writing. But please remember the rule of 3. Cramming your sentences full of adjectives, even if they are in the mathematically perfect order, is just going to muddy your message. At the end of the day, clarity and conciseness should always be your ultimate goal. It really makes you think, doesn't it? You have literally been following this highly complex, multi-tiered OSAS comp formula your entire life without ever having to study it, which leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to ponder. What other subconscious grammatical rules is your brain blindly following right now, entirely without you even knowing? Hang on to that curiosity, keep exploring, and we'll catch you in the next explainer.